Hello, hello, gorgeous goddess. My name is Bianca Adelia. I've been a boudoir photographer for almost 8 years, and so I want to bring a couple pointers to you that I think are important in regards to really enjoying your boudoir session. The first thing I want to talk about is feeling confident in your boudoir photographer. So just because a boudoir photographer is expensive doesn't mean they're going to hit the key pieces that you're looking for in your boudoir session. And what I mean by this is there's lots of different boudoir photographers and their energy is completely different. When I first started doing boudoir photography, I was actually kind of taste testing all of these different energies. I tried on the bold and fierce. I tried on the very polished and brightly edited boudoir photography styles, and those were not mine. After the 8 years of doing boudoir photography myself, I found that I have a more sensual approach. Mine is very much more artistic, and I've found that the women that I work best with are the women who are feeling a little bit extra vulnerable in comparison to the woman who wants the bold and fierce and fabulous boudoir session. So that's kind of my niche. My niche is more in the like artistic and healing kind of realm. So if that's what you're looking for, I hope you choose me as your boudoir photographer. But that's what I'm kind of talking about when you choose your boudoir photographer. So you don't necessarily want to choose someone that you went to high school with and that you know better. Really dive deep into what exactly it is that you're looking to gain from your session. If you're doing this for your partner, if you're doing this for yourself, if you're doing this to get uncomfortable, if you're doing this to take a different approach to self-love. Really take a look at all of those pieces and then find a photographer that you think will actually deliver those results that you're looking for. You also want to get to know this photographer, so you can follow their social medias. You can also pick up the phone and give them a call. You can start an email chain with them. Me personally, if you'd like to get to know me on a more personal level, you can add my personal Facebook page if you are looking to be a potential client. I post a lot about my family and I post a lot of funny memes. So if you're into funny memes, that's where my unprofessional sense of humor goes, on my personal Facebook page. So feel free to add me there if you're wanting to get to know me a little bit more, if you're considering a boudoir session also. But don't be afraid to ask to see pictures of their shooting space, or if they have a studio, don't be afraid to ask to go and visit the studio. The more comfortable you are with your photographer and the more comfortable you are with the experience that you're going to have, the better it's going to be, because it's just going to be seamless. It's going to be a seamless experience for you if you feel comfortable. We want to just get rid of all of that resistance in the very beginning. These are very vulnerable pictures, so the more comfortable you are, the better. That's the main point. And then on the topic of choosing your boudoir photographer and considering the end goal that you might have for your session, start to think about the finer details into the session. So do you want to bring props? What does your vision look like? Do you have certain lingerie that you're wanting to bring? What kind of vibe are you going for? You know, just the right photographer, once you start kind of talking about this, they're going to know what questions to ask you to really get to the nitty-gritty of what exactly it is that you're looking for. And then for my process, there is a questionnaire that accompanies the booking process, and this gets you thinking about all the right questions to be asking yourself too. So on my questionnaire personally, it will also ask you how exposed you want these images, like how conservative do you want to go, and then and things like that. So that questionnaire accompanies the booking process, so you can start thinking about all those things that we both need to get on the same page about. So that's very, very important. The planning process is one of the biggest pieces of your boudoir session. Another thing I would like to point out is weight. So it doesn't matter how many body positivity movements happen. It doesn't matter how many times someone tells you to love yourself or any of that kind of stuff. Weight is always going to be a concern for women. We have a very individual view of what we want to see looking back at us in the mirror. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter how much deconditioning programming that the world tries to give us, or for the good of mankind. We're always going to have that vision of ourselves that we want to see ourselves as. So weight will always be a concern. And so just to alleviate some of that stress, I'm going to let you know that with my 8 years of experience, I will be putting you in flattering poses. And whatever boudoir photographer you choose will also do the same. We're going to use flattering lighting, we'll use flattering angles, we'll put you in flattering posing positions. So don't worry about that stuff. You can literally look 10 pounds lighter in a certain pose. So don't worry about that stuff. Don't worry about trying to jump into a fad diet or this crash fasting or anything like that, because that's, especially with the fasting and depending on your body type, that will actually, you're going to gain 15 more pounds after you get out of that fasting. So I really want to encourage you not to go down that route of stressing out and then trying to incorporate a quick fix diet. Try to just stay away from that. What I like to do is I like to walk in the mornings. I like to drink lots and lots of water, do some yoga stretching, something that's not going to be too strenuous. If you start sweating, that's usually an indication that you're trying too hard. So unless you're already on a more rigorous fitness regimen, I wouldn't recommend going into all that. Just don't stress out. We have your back, I promise. So yeah, just make healthier diet choices. Try to limit the sugars and the salts, uptake your water, and you should be good to go. So don't stress about the weight. We'll just relax and then see what the pictures show you. All right, and then last but not least, have fun. And I know that's so much easier said than done, but I want to talk about self-care because that's also a very big trending topic right now. And I want to tell you that the moment that self-care feels like a chore, just stop. Self-care can also be a nap. Self-care can also be doing nothing. So when we talk about self-care, we want it to feel like self-love. And if you are overextending yourself, trying to do all of the things because you think it's going to make you feel some type of way, I'm going to tell you, it's not. The more you keep doing, the more stressed out you're going to become, and then you're going to think that you need to do more self-care. It's going to stress you out even more. So with the self-care, do what feels good. Have fun. If it feels good to have a bubble bath, have a bubble bath. If it feels good to have a glass of wine, have a glass of wine. If it feels good to book a waxing appointment, do that kind of stuff. There's going to be plenty of time during the session to get all glam and gorgeous and all that kind of good stuff. So when it comes to self-care, keep doing what feels good. All right, so those are my main pointers for enjoying your first or second or whatever boudoir session you are on. I hope that's helpful, and I will hopefully see you at your boudoir session. If not,